Well, good morning, Internet, and pretty much nobody else.
I mean, the Internet, that's kind of everywhere.
The Internet is technically almost everybody. If you are listening to us exclusively on the Internet, this is a very special show.
Because you're the only one that can hear it.
Because you're the only one that can hear it. Something blowed up last night amidst the levers and switches and gears and wheels and pulleys and ramps and fulcrums and other simple machinery that is built into and around the radio ranch. Last night, something, and it was not my fault because I was not here, broke.
Yeah, I for once I can say that it had nothing to do with me.
For once in my life. Zoe and I weren't here, so it's not our fault.
This would be a good time for us to do what we've always wanted to do, the musical version of the Rob Brown Show.
Bye, bye, Gronkowski, bye. Nailed it.
No, that was bad.
Yeah, I know. It's country. What do you want?
Oh, see, I thought you were going for boy band. You know,
no, that would be bye, Gronk.
Okay, so your reference is lost on me.
It's all right. I'm gonna be. If we're gonna go musical, you got. I mean, I am friendly to every genre. Every genre gets its time in the sun.
No. Country is unavailable.
No, that's not how this works, pal. Not how this works. Ladies and gentlemen of the Internet, welcome. We're glad to have you. Joe popped into the stream, heard the country, and went, all right, I'm going to head out.
Yeah, me too, Joe. Me too. I'm out too.
Oh, man. It is not the musical edition. Listen, if Zoe and I were going to put together a musical edition, we would sit our asses down and we would write down music. We'd actually have songs for you.
Yeah, it's been done before, not here, but we could do it for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah. I have sat in on the Upstate Pulse Saturday from 7 to 9 on WORD and listened to Zoe's stuff. It's pretty good. If we're going to do a musical edition, we'd kill a musical edition.
We would. And kill can be subjective.
Depends on whose ears you're asking.
Exactly.
We're not going to do the musical edition.
So you're saying goodbye to Gronk like you're buying it.
Hit the road, Gronk. Don't you come back? No.
So apparently the AM stations are working.
So we're mildly on the radio.
Hey, we're
on the radio light.
Those AM signals are an institution in this area. They've been on for a very long time, and it's awesome to hear that 1330 is still working.
Old reliable.
That's right. And there are still some older people and radio hobbyists, I want to say, who listen to AM radio.
Radio hobbyists. I like it.
I wanted to say enthusiasts, but it just didn't work.
Zach says, digging that shirt, Rob Brown. Oh, yeah.
Don't cost yourself, most of the show by doing it too early.
Yeah. I had to. I don't know why. Basically, it was clean. Nathan Green. Here's what I love about this show. We're just talking at this point.
Yeah. Well, see, what happened was
we got a show to do, but we're just talking.
There was light reflected off of weather balloon and swamp gas and all that stuff, and it messed with it. There's atmospheric interference. I heard tell that there is a large sunspot headed in our direction, and that could have something to do with it.
Sunspots don't head anywhere. They're just a spot where there's a blank spot on the sun.
No, it's a little black spot.
That's what? No.
There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's the same old thing.
I mean,
yesterday.
Like a sunspot is a real thing, but you said a spot.
You do know I'm quoting. I hope you know I'm quoting a song.
No. Oh, no.
Do you not know that song?
I don't.
By the Police.
No.
Right.
I'm not a big Police guy.
What?
I said what I said.
What?
I said what I said.
How can you not be a Police guy? You just hate Sting?
By the way, I'd like to say very loudly into the microphone, the band. I'm not a fan of the band, The Police.
Don't do that. You're going to break the microphone.
Just so we're all abundantly clear. Yes, I am convinced that Gronk is gone.
I'm not. I am convinced that Gronk doesn't want to go to training camp.
Gronk's like, 2-a-days? I'm 33, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm 33.
Halfway through the season, they're kind of struggling a little bit, Brady gets on the phone. Here comes Gronk to save the day. Gronk has hero syndrome. That's he just wants to be the hero.
By God, that's Gronkowski's music!
Exactly.
What's Gronk come out to? What's Gronk's walkout song?
Well, since he wasn't wrestling, it was horrible. And thank God he went back to football. I don't know. It would be Doink the Clown's music, I think.
Wait a minute.
Gronk the Clown.
They actually gave Rob Gronkowski his own WWE walkout music called Gronk, It's Party Time.
Rob dislikes the police is trending on Twitter.
If I send this to you, can we play like 8 seconds of it? I don't think we get trademark tagged for like 8 seconds.
No, we can play it. We just can't play it on the stream. So you and I can
I feel
hear
like
it.
we can play it on the stream for like 8 seconds.
Let's face it. You and I would be the only ones that would hear it if we played it. You want to risk flagging? It's your show. If you want to risk flagging, I know it's on the station also, but you know.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna send it to you. We're gonna play like 10 seconds of Rob Gronkowski's WWE walkout music. If the stream gets flagged and taken down, I will literally go
If the stream gets flagged and taken down, then we're broadcasting to no one.
No. It won't get taken down in real time. It'll get taken down after it gets posted.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So we'll do like 10 seconds of it. If the stream gets taken down. Oh, that's enough. Because it's just going to be that for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was 10 seconds.
It's just going to be that for 3 minutes. It's exactly what I thought it would be. It's like if LMFAO and the Black Eyed Peas had a baby and that baby was bad at music. That's what that song is.
But it's
strong party rock vibes
it's
coming from that.
It's very fitting for Mr. 69.
Still the best thing that's ever happened. Keegan called it a knockoff Pitbull song. I think even Mr. Worldwide would be like, eh.
No, it's Pitbull. He'd be all down.
No, I'm telling you.
He might have actually done that song.
I'm telling you, that is straight up an LMFAO. Do you remember Party Rock? Party Rock is in the house tonight. That song is a song. It's a thing. It's that.
Hey, neither one of us had a hit like Party Rock, so we can't really criticize too much. I mean, you know.
I can. It's irrelevant, but I can. By the way, I just want you guys to know, those of you that are listening on the internet, especially on the stream at facebook.com, I don't know why I'm telling you. If you're watching the stream, you already know where it is. So you're already here. But you know what I'm doing now? Here's what I'm doing.
No, you need to do the show like it's the show because we're on 1330. We're on stream. But, you know, we would start the show like this anyway.
Yeah, this is the opening segment of the show.
Never mind.
That being said, I think I'm going to try this. I think we're just going to do the way that, like, the cool Twitch kids and the YouTubers do their show, just like a live stream. We're just going to answer questions off the Facebook stream as the show, right? I'm just going to, Trey says, I ain't going to lie, I like that song a little too much. Keep it to yourself, Trey. I mean, you can tell us on the stream because this is a safe space, but I wouldn't go into public bopping that on your speaker.
Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, we played 10 seconds of it. We both were moving. That's all I'm saying. That's what that song was supposed to do.
Zach Warren said, is Gronk the best wrestler of all time, Lonzo?
That is not what he asked me.
Yeah, best wrestler of all time, Lonzo.
No, he wants to know who the best wrestler of all time.
He's asking if it is Gronk that is the best
I
wrestler of all
am
time.
interpreting it differently.
I'm inferring on Zach's behalf. Gronk is to wrestling for you as Jake Paul is to fighting for me. Like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, I don't have as much hatred for Gronk as you do for Jake Paul. I don't.
I love Gronk. I love Gronk. You know why I love Gronk? Can we all be honest with each other? I love Gronk because if I was Gronk, my life would have turned out the exact same way. I would have been young, dumb, rich, handsome, and throwing party cruises full of scantily clad women on boats that just disappear over the horizon.
I just want you to know
been living my
your
best life.
interpretation.
Interpretation.
Your interpretation of that there post was incorrect, sir.
Oh, he's asking who is. We'll get to that. That's a strong possibility. Let's see. Joe B. Here Country said I'm gonna head out. What else we got here? Keegan says, I think chemtrails broke the station. Yeah.
That's and if so, then it is Rob's fault.
Nate said, would you be mad if Gronk showed up and beat Roman for the championship? I will take Gronk over Brock again. Why we need Brock v. Roman volume 9.12?
I would love for Gronk to show up and Brock just beat the mess out of him. And he just have that dumb look on his face like, what is happening to me as he's getting F5 for the 10th time?
Why do you hate Gronk so much? And I'm asking that genuinely.
Because he is the dumb jock stereotype. And I hate stereotypes personified in, I mean, there it is. When you think of dumb jock, you think Gronk. That's who you think of. Classically, throughout history, if you look at dumb jock, there's a picture of Gronk, even though he wasn't born. He is the dumb jock. I don't like people who do that, who enforce the stereotype. There, did I get too deep for you? I mean,
no, it's not too deep. It's just I don't like. It's one thing if somebody enhances the stereotype by leaning into that stereotype to cause it to be viewed negatively, right? It's another thing when that's just Gronk. He's just kind of dumb, right? Like Gronk's not being dumb to be like, let me go out there and enhance the stereotype that jocks are dumb and that is bad. Gronk is just, you know what he is? You know what Gronk is? Gronk is a dumb little puppy, right? It's like the puppy's not being dumb just to make you mad. The puppy's not running into walls just to make you mad. It's not eating the legs off the sofa just to make you mad. The puppy just is what the puppy is. It's just a dumb dog, and you gotta love him for it.
No, you don't have to love them for it.
So Lonzo hates puppies, is what it comes down to.
It's not going to work. It's a nice try because there's not enough people listening for it to work.
I don't get why. Like Gronk being dumb. Yeah, if Gronk was dumb and a politician or dumb and an authority figure that had an impact on your life, I'd be like, yeah, it aggravates me when we put dumb people into positions of power, right? The Kardashians being dumb aggravate me because they're genuinely.
How are they in a position of power? I mean, they're
influencing
influencers.
pop culture,
Okay.
right?
By the way,
Like
Zach,
Kim Kardashian.
Rob versus Gronk, no contest. Rob wins because Rob is a very experienced wrestler.
It's true. I am 1-0.
Gronk is not.
I'm effectively the Bill Goldberg of local wrestling.
You trying to remember the name of the association that you were in?
No, it was. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Something WA.
It was like a one-off show. It wasn't like a like a territory. It was like a one-off show.
And by the way, Keegan says if there was a house on fire and Steph Curry and Gronk were inside, you could only save one person. Who would it be? I would call the fire department, Keegan, and let the professionals take care of that. Duh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lonzo hates metaphorical questions, hypothetical questions. Never waste your breath on a hypothetical to Lonzo because he will just dismiss it outright.
Yeah, and what Rob does is Rob will just try to change the question.
Correct. The answer is I save Steph, and then I tell Gronk that there is an attractive nude woman on the front yard, and he'll just run through the wall to get out. Right? Gronk, there's a half-naked chick and a keg on the front porch. And Gronk smash through the wall. He'll be fine.
Let's be honest here. The two people in question, one of them is a lot lighter than the other one. You got a better shot of getting out of there yourself with one and not the other. Just saying.
Yeah, I am putting Steph on Gronk's back and telling Gronk there is a party bus out front looking for a host. Gronk's out the door. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get into. I guess we still got to take our breaks like normal?
Yes, Rob,
Okay.
we do, because we're on 1330. That
Oh,
means,
that's right.
you know what that means? We're on the air. We're also on stream, but we are on the air. And you know what? Commercials play on stream also. Some of
You're
them
on
do.
the air, sled god. You know what movie that is?
No.
Cool Runnings, man.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Your accent.
Yeah, it's that
you need,
scene
you,
where-
need, you need to work
It's that
on it.
scene where John Candy starts up the film in the room's full of Jamaican sprinters trying to get to the Olympics, and he starts up the speech, and Sanka drops the lights and he shows the video. He's like, "You're on the air, sled god," and then the film just shows bobsledders eating garbage down the chute. And when he turns the light back on, it's only the 4 guys on the team already that are still in the room. It's spectacular. Cool Runnings.
I saw it like 30 years ago. I'm sorry, I don't
Holds
remember
up.
everything.
Holds
I'm sure
up.
it does.
It's amazing. Tallulah. Tallulah! That's my mother's name. Tallulah. I like it. Take a break. Why am I watching PK Subban and Robert Griffin III do the Fortnite? Okay. Today's weird, you guys. All right, drop your questions in the chat. This is just like a YouTube live stream at this point. Gronk says hasta luego. We're going to talk about that coming up in a minute. PGA Tour has decided we hate the Live Tour, so we're going to do the Live Tour next year. What do I mean? I'll tell you. And obviously, NHL Stanley Cup Game 4 coming up tonight. I got a projection for you. It'll be wrong, just like everything else. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Let us tell you about the weather. We'll spend the entire couple minutes of the break just saying Alexa. So Raven is 5 minutes away. So chances are she'll get here right when we come back
Right,
from break.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to go trade, but I got a thing. Rob's got a thing also. So I mean, Speaking of a thing, that thing is still trending. I'm still not clicking on it. It says trending in the United States. So since I have to run downstairs, I really have to go to the restroom. I'm not going to go on purpose because I think it will, give me a little more motivation to get down and back up quicker.
Wait, so you're going to run down and go to the bathroom and get your computer?
No. I'm going to hold it.
Gotcha.
But the urgency is going to propel me. So make me go faster. She's at the Woodruff Road light. I would have her wait till the next break, but she has to be at work by 10. So don't want her to be late. Plus, I am curious, how quick can I get down there and back up here? May just take my shoes off. That's cool, Trey.
Do what?
Oh, you said Rosario Dawson was at Heroes Con in Charlotte.
Yeah, I saw that, Trey. I honestly considered going, but I can't. Because I got to see. We're going to Helen next weekend for 4th of July weekend.
Going where?
Helen, Georgia.
Okay, because I didn't hear the end part.
You know us heathens. Weird vacation
I was
destination.
wondering where you celebrated. Except I'm thinner and my hair's not silver. But other than that, I get that. I want to note that I put my hair up before you posted that. Not Rex, though, because he likes feet. Space Channel. When did high waters become, stylistic? When did that happen?
There's a difference between.
Oh, it's still high waters. Just because it's tight around your leg doesn't mean it ain't high waters. It's still high waters. It's the things that people, at least my generation, got picked on as kids. I'm guessing maybe yours did too. So did those kids go, oh, yeah, we'll show you. We'll make it stylistic so you can't make fun of another kid about it again? Is that what happened?
Zach just said Lonzo reminds me of Rob Ryan. Wow.
Yeah, but again, I put my hair up before he said that, and I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it, but my hair's not silver. When my hair turns silver, I hope I have that kind of head of hair. That dude's got some awesome hair. I don't know. He's what, like 60-something? That hair is some good hair, man.
Lonzo said, when did high waters become a thing again?
No, when did they become stylistic? When did it become okay to wear high waters?
They are not high waters.
Those are high waters, dude.
No.
Without a doubt. High waters is your pants are too short because you can't afford. You're wearing hand-me-downs. That's what you get made fun of. That's what you get beat up for. That's what you get shamed for. That's why you need therapy because of high waters. And then those kids said, I'll show you, and made it style.
First off,
How many high waters do you have?
I have 2 pairs of pants that you would consider high waters.
High waters.
They are not high waters. They are Eurocut.
By the way, really quick, Zach, I took it as a compliment, not as a diss. We're good. And those are definitely high waters.
They are Eurocut. There's a difference. There's a difference, right?
No, here's the thing. People like you made fun of people like me because I had high waters. And you know what? I quit.
He is literally leaving. Okay. He's leaving the room. All right. Well, I guess. All right. I was kidding, right? Was it? All right. Well, so there you go. Lonzo just walked out on the show. That's pretty spectacular. No worries. I'll hold this fort down. I don't know how I'm going to get over there and play commercials, but I guess I'm riding solo. All right. Well, what to talk about? The good news is that I guess I can just do whatever the hell I want now because Zoe's not here. So bring it. What do you got? What do you got? What do you want to get to? It's wide open now. You can't call because he's not over there to answer the phone. But you can still text 71307 on the Preferred Home Services text line if you can hear me. You can also drop your comments on the stream if you're watching it, since I'm now riding dirty. riding solo, carrying it by myself. I'm like the Michael Jordan of local sports talk radio, baby. Let's do this thing. All right. Couple of things we do need to get to today. Obviously, the big one is the lawsuits dropped against Deshaun Watson. 20 of the 24 lawsuits against Deshaun have been settled. Not dropped. Not dropped, but settled. Oh, you changed your mind?
Security wouldn't let me out of the
Oh,
building.
gotcha. Okay. That makes much more sense. Makes much more sense. 20 of... Carter says, can't believe you ran Zoe off. What a monster. Zoe is sensitive. This Major Pain, by the way.
And very out of breath.
Yeah. One whole flight of stairs. It's a doozy. All right. 20 of 24 lawsuits dropped, or nope, scratch that, settled. 20 of 24 settled. Back on March 25th, Deshaun Watson was asked whether he'd attempt to settle the civil lawsuits that accused him of what he's accused of, and Watson said, quote, "That's not my intent. My intent is to continue to clear my name as much as possible, and that's what I'm focused on," end quote. Yesterday, he went ahead and settled those lawsuits. The attorney for the women, Tony Busby, told ESPN in a statement that 20 of the 24 cases against Watson have been settled. The other 4, which do include Ashley Solis, who was the first woman to sue Watson, have not been settled and remain on track to go to trial likely next year. Now, we do know that 2 grand juries have declined to pursue criminal charges against Watson earlier this year. The NFL is investigating whether he violated its code of conduct. The league has yet to give a timetable for when it might make a ruling. But in a statement to ESPN yesterday, league spokesperson Brian McCarthy said Watson's settlements will, quote, "have no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process," end quote. So 20 of 24 are settled. 4 are still on track to go to trial. And again, we have talked about the fact that both attorneys have said that it is in the best interest of both of their parties to bring these cases to trial probably next year. So, what happened yesterday? Well, more than a year after the first lawsuit was filed, Busby announced in his statement yesterday that his firm is working through the paperwork to finish those 20. Once it's complete, those cases will be dismissed. Busby did say, however, that the terms and the amounts of the settlements are confidential and will not be spoken of any further. Now, it is unclear whether the confidentiality agreement extends to the settlement figures alone or if it will restrict the plaintiffs from talking about the incident and the lawsuits at all moving forward. My guess, and it is an uneducated guess, my uneducated guess is that, yes, likely what happened here is that these women accepted a settlement with an NDA attached to it, right? You're going to get lots of cash, and you're not going to talk about this publicly moving forward. We don't know that that is the case, but again, seems like it would kind of defeat the purpose for Deshaun to settle, only to have these women come out and tell the story boldly after the settlement was struck. What about the 4 women who did not settle? We do not know anything about these 4 cases outside of what was released by the attorneys. We do not know. ESPN says that they reached out to John Barr. ESPN's John Barr reached out to Busby, and the law firm of Busby declined to expand. Now, that does not mean that there is not the potential for a settlement with these 4 women down the line. It could still be settled. We do not know why they did not settle. It could be that they just do not want to settle. They want this to go to court. They want this to be thrown out there in the light, right? It could be that they want more money than the settlement was for. We don't know what these settlement issues are for.
I did see a thing where it was said that speculated that Deshaun settled 20 of them because he didn't want to go to court with that many because it would take forever to get through.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Still, 4 is a lot.
Yeah. 4 is a lot. I mean, even with just 4, they're talking about the fact that these trials likely would not take place until like next summer, right? Till like next summer. Not just through the NFL season, but through the next NFL draft and minicamps before this would even see the light. Now imagine if there were 24 instead of 4. So it makes sense. Even if he said at one point, I'm not settling, right? It makes sense that he would if he got the opportunity and they came to a price point that made it worth it. The NFL has not added any more information, any more discussion to all of this. They have not announced their timeline for their own investigation to be wrapped up, for their own disciplinary process to be handed down. We don't know that this changes anything. What we do know is that under the CBA, the NFL will make their recommendation for discipline about Watson, which will go before U.S. District Judge retired Sue Robinson, who serves as a jointly appointed discipline officer. Robinson will conduct her own hearing involving an interview with Watson and other witnesses, which means that even if the league does make a decision on whether to punish Watson, how to punish Watson, whether it is a suspension or a fine or what, Deshaun theoretically could be playing this year and be forced to sit out next year, right? Because you're not just talking about the NFL punishing him. The NFL may come and they may say, all right, we need to have him sit a year. And that's going to be the recommendation. And Robinson may go, I'd like to hear the details of this investigation first and push it back. Or she may go, yep, sounds fair.
So what if he's suspended this year and it goes to trial next year and things come out that the NFL investigation didn't find?
I suspect there's going to be a lot of people asking the NFL, then did you really investigate it? Right? Did you really do exactly what is happening to the Browns right now, right? The Browns came out and the Browns said, we did our due diligence. We did a thorough investigation. We looked deep into this topic. We went and we found and every piece of info we could. We left no stone unturned. And then about 3 days ago, it came out that nobody ever actually called the DA that was looking into the criminal charges in the first place, right? It turns out that nobody from Cleveland or the NFL ever called the Harris County DA, you know, the one who opened the initial criminal investigation, and said, hey, might you be able to give us some information that we might want to follow up on? It's a thought. So now people are looking at Cleveland and going, you guys absolutely did not do your due diligence. You absolutely did not leave stones unturned. You left some stones turned. Every stone was unturned. No, it wasn't. I see so many stones, many of which were not turned. And that's what the NFL is going to face. Now, at the end of the day, if I may be a realist, it won't matter. NFL fans aren't going anywhere. The NFL will take a hit to their public image for a couple of years, and then they'll play nice. They'll donate a few mil to battered women's shelters. And then we'll all forget about it. But we'll see. There is absolutely a reason that Deshaun settled the 20 that he settled, right? I think the biggest one is the one Lonzo mentioned. It's just a time scale, right? Each one of these lawsuits individually could take weeks, if not longer. Each one of them is going to have a different set of circumstances. Each one of them is going to have an individual period of discovery that could take who knows how many days. Each one of them is going to have to be investigated by a different organization for different ladder. It would have taken potentially years for Deshaun to get through this. Now, here's the part that I want to say, and then we'll take a break. Keep in mind, please and thank you, keep in mind that settling a civil lawsuit is not an admission of guilt or innocence for either side. It is not an admission by these women that what they are saying happened did not happen. It is not an admission by Deshaun that he did what he is accused of doing. It is simply an outside of the courtroom discussion between the two parties, both of which has said, this number makes me not want to go into that courtroom. And that is it. We have seen large companies in the past pay off settlements, not because they did what they were accused of, but because it was easier for $5,000 to pay off somebody might be better than $25,000 fighting them in the court of law and the court of public opinion. Nobody can say Deshaun sexually assaulted these women now because the criminal people can say it, but he can't be found outside of the court of public opinion. This is irrelevant at this point, right? Except for the last four. So nothing changes about the NFL timeline. Nothing changes about the potential suspension upcoming for Deshaun Watson. Nothing changes about how the NFL is going to handle this. Nothing changes about this relationship with the Browns. All that changes is now he only faces 4. The other 20 are settled. That's it. He's going to fork over some cash to these women. These women are going to go away, except for the 4 who are not. Why aren't those 4 going away? We don't know. Tony Busby did not say yesterday. Deshaun is not out of the woods by any means. There is still a lot he will have to answer for. And if these 4 decide not to settle and to go to trial, it could get uglier for Deshaun. But settling 20 of 24 was a big step. Let's take a break. Steven says, I'm sitting in a bar in Madeira, waiting on breakfast, listening to you guys. Sounds like a great start to a country song. Madeira. You're down in Florida, correct? That makes us a nationally broadcasted sports radio show, I believe. Quick break. Lonzo's still getting his breath back. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
QC.
Tell you about my friends at QC Kinetics, ladies and Fall Guys? I've not heard of Fall Guys.
I've seen it, but I've never played it. All right, we're back on 97.7.
Are we?
And on HD3.
Do what?
On HD3 on 97.7. So they switched the, they took the HD3 channel and made it work on 97.7, if I understand correctly. So we're back on in Greenville.
Trey asked on the stream, is Deshaun Watson actually worth all the drama for Cleveland? I understand he was good, but I don't remember Houston being contenders. I do remember he had a bad knee injury at Clemson. Is he really elite? Yo, I wish we could only talk about football with Deshaun, because Deshaun is good. And Deshaun's young. He's early in his career. My dude's, what, 25? Coming up on 26?
Yeah, but Trey has a good point. When's the last time we saw him play? I mean, it's been a while, and we know drop-offs do happen.
Sure.
He does have a lot of talent. When he came out of Clemson, he was a great quarterback for college and did a really good job for Houston. But is he given too much credit for doing really good with a bad team?
No.
If he actually gets to play for Cleveland, will he be able to play even better than what he did in Houston? I don't know.
Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback. Deshaun Watson's a really good quarterback. That's not a question. That's a statement of fact. He's a really good quarterback. And he's a really young, really good quarterback.
Was. I mean, that's the thing. We can only go by the last time we saw him play, which was how long ago?
Correct, and I agree with you. However, to be clear, this is the NFL. This is a quarterback league.
And you know what else? Mental does have something to do with how you play. And does all this factor in? Does he still have that edge on the field? Is he going to be able to see everything and all that kind of stuff? Don't know.
So this is the NFL. It is a quarterback's league. Okay? We know that. This is not a surprise. It's a quarterback league. Teams will take a shot on a quarterback who has done it and maybe separated from it by a couple of obstacles, because taking a risk for everybody else, taking a risk from everybody else on a guy who has not done it, it's just not the same. Quarterbacks in the league are infinitely valuable. To the point that, here, let me put it this way. If Deshaun Watson was a running back, the Browns aren't paying him $250 million guaranteed while he is being investigated for 24 plus counts of sexual assault, right? If he's a running back, it's not happening. If he's a left guard, it's not happening. Maybe if he is a young wide receiver, maybe. Quarterback's the only position that this is going to happen for. So the Browns are looking at it and going, look, he's going to bring bad image to the team. No doubt about it. He's going to bring bad PR to the team. No doubt about it. We are going to be asked questions that we cannot answer. No doubt about it. We are going to be asked questions that Deshaun cannot answer. No doubt about it. And as a response to all of that, we're still going to give him $250 million for a few years of football. Because the league is quarterback dependent. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance, right? Who's the last QB with a bad, or who's the last team with a bad quarterback to win? It's hard to go backwards. Joe Flacco?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Brad Johnson. That's right. Good call. 2000, what was that? 2000, whatever, 1, 4? I don't remember. Long time ago.
I mean, you can throw in Washington in there. You can throw in. You already said Baltimore. There are teams that have won despite their quarterback.
I'm talking Super Bowl.
Denver. Peyton Manning. Come on. I mean, I'm not going to discount Peyton Manning's greatness throughout his career, but that Super Bowl, that was rough. They still won, but that was rough because he had nothing left. I would contend some of those other guys that you mentioned had better arms in their Super Bowl than Peyton Manning did in his last
Johnson.
one. Oh yeah, better than Peyton Manning. That was bad, dude. That was so bad.
Not a chance. All right. So to answer your question, Trey, is Deshaun worth all the drama for Cleveland if he wins? Lonzo asked the question, quarterback's a mental game. With all this surrounding him, can he go out there? Can he go out there and overcome it mentally and perform, right? Here's what I'll say to that. If Deshaun did the things that Deshaun is accused of doing, yeah. Because you already got to have a mental disconnect to behave like that, to act like that, to think that it's okay because you're you. If the things Deshaun's accused of doing, Deshaun did, then yeah. Deshaun has no concern about the opinion of the world or anybody else on him, which will help him. If Deshaun didn't do these things, I got to tell you, he doesn't seem all that bothered by it. So I don't know. But as we pointed out, we have got to see what happens with these last 4 lawsuits. 20 settled, 4 left standing. If Ashley Solis and these other 3 women that did not settle with Deshaun yet, did not settle with Deshaun because they are just not going to settle with Deshaun, right? They are taking this to court on principle. It's not about the money. It's about principle. Then this thing may get a lot uglier before it gets better for Deshaun and the Browns. The Browns are already in the midst of a PR nightmare. Deshaun is going to be booed everywhere he goes outside of Cleveland. And we have already seen some very high-profile Cleveland Browns fans walk on that team for signing him in the first place, right? So I'm interested. What does this settlement mean? Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not much. If it was all 24 that settled, this is a different story. 20 of 24 settling doesn't change anything. The NFL investigation is still going on. The NFL's punishment is not going to consider a settlement as something that gets Deshaun any level of credit, lets him off the hook. It's not going to decrease the punishment, I don't think. It doesn't take away the PR nightmare the Browns are in. They're still going to have to answer for it. It doesn't really change all that much. If all 24 settled, it would have. But the 20 he's still got to fight, or excuse me, the 4 he's still got to fight, are sticking around for at least another year. Back after this, hour number 2 just around the corner on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Brian, to answer your question, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi so far, but I haven't watched the final episode, which comes out today. Rob, I believe, has already watched the whole thing or part of it.
Halfway through it. I did watch last week's, though, and was awesome.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
It was very video game-like. We'll tell you, it's being talked about around the station. Had a conversation with our news director, Lee Rogers, earlier from WORD about it. So, I mean, a lot of people are watching it and liking it. I haven't talked to anybody or heard of anybody who hasn't liked it. Look at the video I sent you. It only
I'm
takes
watching it right now. It looks like a fever dream.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's actually Assassin's Creed, but it still is pretty funny. Something you can mod up for sure. I've never been to Disney, but I hear it's pretty cool as far as the Star Wars section is.
Yeah, I'm going there next year.
I'm not a ride guy, so I mean, you know, I know there's attractions and things. I probably would rather go to Universal Studios or something like that. What's cracking? Zach says you should go to the cantina when you go.
Yeah, my understanding is they have like a bunch of drinks that are inspired by locales in the movie.
Will you also go to a Harry Potter thing and drink butterbeer?
Already been there. Spectacular. However, you can go drink butterbeer, or you can just have a beer.
Does butterbeer actually have alcohol in it?
No.
Does it taste like butter?
I didn't have it.
Okay.
I was with a group of friends. Well, I was with an ex-girlfriend. Well, now an ex-girlfriend and a group of friends that were all big Harry Potter dorks.
Nothing wrong with liking Harry Potter, Rob.
Oh, I didn't judge it. I literally went with them, so.
Just thought of a good nerd roundtable question. Which would you rather play, Quidditch or Blitzball? You've had to have played Final Fantasy X to know what Blitzball is. Blitzball is soccer underwater.
Underwater.
Yes. Blitzball is a mini game in Final Fantasy X. You can just play Blitzball, and you can actually go around as you're walking around. You can recruit guys or girls to be on your team, and you can see their stats and stuff. You actually have to pay them a salary, and then if someone hits a killer move on you, if you hit buttons right, you can copy it, and you can use the move yourself later on.
Nice. That's kind of rad.
Spent more time playing Blitzball than I actually did playing the game. I beat the game, but still, I will go back on occasion and play it just to play that.
Beef likes Harry Potter. Sets him apart. Beef's the worst. Beef and Brad.
Beef was in Hufflepuff.
Beef was absolutely not in Hufflepuff.
Are you going to say he's in Slytherin? Was Beef smart enough and evil enough to be in Slytherin?
No, Beef didn't get in. Beef was,
A muggle?
yeah.
Do you know anyone who would be excited for being in Hufflepuff? I don't know.
No, in fact, when my band wears Harry Potter shirts as one of our themes, and we all have our house and our basis elected to be the Muggle, but we had a whole fight about who was going to get stuck wearing Hufflepuff, and it ended up being our drummer. We were like, sorry, buddy, somebody's got to do it, and he's like, I would literally rather just wear like a full Dementor's outfit than wear a Hufflepuff shirt.
Which would be cool.
Yeah. So because we had some issues with terrestrial radio this morning, the stream has been popping today. It's like for the first, 40 minutes of the show, that was the only way to listen it. Zach popped in and said, Rob, are you a Clemson fan or a Gamecock fan? Yes. Yes. I talked about this last week on the show, so I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I'll answer the question because I need to. The answer is, Zach, I am not a fan of either, right? I'm not a fan of either. I am a fan of both in that it turns out it's really good for me professionally when those two teams are good, right? It's really good for me professionally when those two teams are good. If Clemson is good, I make more money. If South Carolina is good, I make more money. If both of them are good, I make lots more money. The dream matchup, the greatest thing that could ever happen for Rob Brown, radio dude in the upstate, would be if on Thanksgiving weekend, Lonzo and I were tucking into some queso dip, set to watch number 1 South Carolina take on number 2 Clemson, or vice versa, both of them 11-0 with the playoff spot on the line. I would be rich because we'd be on remote for every day for 2 weeks leading up to that, right? Every day, 2 weeks, y'all would want in on that. I'd be loaded. So, I'm not a Clemson fan. I'm not a Gamecock fan. I'm a fan of the University of West Florida Argonauts. Go Argos. But I am a fan of money. And if Clemson and South Carolina are both good, I get more of it. I am not a Panthers fan. I'm a Saints fan. But I want the Panthers to be good. Why? Money. I got to tell you, I am kind of a Carolina Hurricanes fan. I am kind of a Canes fan. I'm a Canes fan after the bunch of jerks t-shirts they put out last year. When Don Cherry said, I don't like the Canes, they're just a bunch of jerks. And they put out a shirt that said bunch of jerks with the Canes logo on it. Immediately became a fan. Big fan. I want them to be good. All right, let's get to some other stuff. We talked about The Deshaun Watson story, if you missed it yesterday, it broke. 20 of the 24 lawsuits have been settled. That broke 3 minutes after Lonzo and I went off the air, because of course it did. 20 of the 24 have been settled. 4 have not. Ashley Solis is one of the ones who has not had her lawsuit settled at this point. She was the first one to bring a lawsuit against Deshaun. Hers remains open and active. Will it see a courtroom? We don't know yet. That is the $1 million question in all of this. If it does see the inside of a courtroom, could it get worse for Deshaun? Uh-huh. But it could also get worse for the league. It could also get worse for the Browns. Because if this goes to trial, you can bet your sweet keister, you can bet your patootie that the attorneys representing these women, Tony Busby and co., are going to have like a lot of people digging, right? And it very well may turn out that there are indeed stones that the NFL and the Cleveland Browns did not turn over. It may very well be that there are dark corners the NFL and the Browns did not go into looking for whatever. And if that turns out to be the case, it's a PR problem for them. Will it impact it all that much? Probably not. Probably not. But it will be a PR nightmare. So, it basically comes down now to, will these 4 women settle in the future? Or will these 4 women take Deshaun all the way to a civil court? And if so, what comes out of that? So we'll talk more about that as we get closer. It's one of those things that when this broke yesterday, it was like, okay, we got to get this article up. We got to scramble. I got to read. I got to see what the statement said. I got to see what the talking head responses are, et cetera, et cetera. And then after we got all that done and I sat down and looked at it, I was like, this would be a much bigger story if all 24 settled. If all 24 settled, different game. But 4 did not. And unless those 4 accept a different settlement down the road, then this is what the story hinges on now. And that's really all it comes down to. All right, we'll get away from that. We can come back to that later on. Seems to me you lived your life like a tight end for the Bucks. I'm just going to do all the goodbye songs, but work Gronk into them just for Lonzo now. Just for Lonzo. Rob Gronkowski allegedly calls it a career. I will remember you catching all those TDs.
At least these references that you're making now, I get, and none of them are country, so I'm down.
Rob Gronkowski allegedly calls it a career yesterday.
Drew Rosenhaus has said that Gronk has said that if Brady calls him,
he'd go back
midway through the season. He'd come back. So this is a guy who doesn't want to go to training camp. I'm
retired till September 1st.
I rejoice in the fact that he might possibly be and stay retired, because I don't think Brady can win without him.
You know what he's setting up for? The NFL version of a Royal Rumble return, right? It gets to be 3rd and 3. Tampa driving in week 1. Who's got Tampa in week 1? Let's see. Week 1, Tampa's got Dallas. At Dallas. It's 3rd and 3. Tampa's driving. The drive is stalled. Brady can't get anything going. Then all of a sudden, as they come out of the huddle, the lights dim. A terrible remix of LMFAO's Party Rock anthem drops. Pyro goes off from the far end zone, and coming out of the tunnel, hand to ear, looking for the crowd response, Oh my God! No! No way! No way he's here! By God, that's Gronkowski's music! Gronk walks out, takes a TD. Gronk spikes it. The arena goes crazy. I don't think Gronk's done either. I think Gronk wants the summer off. And this was the way to do it.
Do you think all the sports TV, have all the packages ready and everything, are like, do we do this or do we not do this? Because I don't think any of them really believe it either.
I think I'd be having fun. Like if I was running ESPN, I think I'd do a whole tribute. I'd do like a 15-minute tribute package to Gronk, highlighting all of his best career memories, and at the end, just like that slow motion of Gronk turning in his helmet and smiling at the camera while it fades to black, and Sarah McLachlan music plays in the back. Oh man. Texas said, would Gronk be considered the great tight end he's been if he played for any other quarterback that's not Tom Brady? Yeah, I think Gronk's that good. I think he's that physically talented. He would still have been a machine, but he got hooked up in the perfect circumstance, right? The perfect circumstance. Tom Brady has probably used tight ends better in his career than any other quarterback, and I'm including Breeze in that. I'm including Manning in that. Manning had some really good years with some really good tight ends during his day, but Gronk is that talented, and Brady worked tight ends within the system. He did it in Tampa. He did it in New England. They both ended up in the best possible situation. The best possible situation. Gronk is a stud. Gronk is that dude in high... I know why Lonzo hates Gronk, because Gronk was that dude in high school that maybe was dumb as a sack full of hammers, but he got every girl and everybody loved him because he was oozing charisma and you couldn't beat him. I'll outsmart him. Doubt it. Everybody's on his team. You're not going to out-physical him. The dude's a machine, and the ladies love him because he's got $1 million smile and a great personality about him, too. I don't get what there is to not like about Gronk.
No, our football team was horrible. We didn't have anyone like that. Are you kidding? No, we did not.
Happy trails to Gronk until he spikes again. Yes, Gronk was a stud. He was fun. He was energetic, but dude could play. And I think that is one thing that's kind of a bummer for Gronk, is that Gronk was so charismatic and he had so much fun with his life that people do not remember how damn good Rob Gronkowski was. They just remember party boat guy.
See, the problem with Gronk, or the greatness of Gronk, is he was too not smart enough to realize that's going to hurt. So he would just go into a crowd, do things he shouldn't, someone of his size should not do, plow through things. Dude hurt himself a lot. And, he plays football like you should play football.
Can we just point out that Rob Gronkowski, we've talked about, my man is 35 years old, 33 years old. He turns 34 next year. He's 33. It's not like he's 25 and calling it a career. 27. He's 33, right?
Yeah, he was with Brady for a really long time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if there's a lot of other players, if they retired at 33, we'd be like, okay, I had a good career. But with Gronk at 33, he still looks like and plays like an animal.
If you are a Brady hater, like I might be, one of the worst things that you can hear is, oh man, Gronk is back.
Yeah.
Because that's his guy.
Yeah.
How many games did he win because he gave the ball to Gronk and no one could tackle him? I mean, imagine trying to tackle that guy.
Best bet I won in that Super Bowl 2 years ago was Gronk to catch a touchdown. Are you kidding me? That's cash. That's easy money, homie. You know Brady's looking for him. If, as Lonzo suspects, this is just Gronk taking off of summer school, my man's going to hit the Gronk party boat for a couple of months, get down to the Caribbean, start his own rum company, get blitz with some good-looking ladies, and then come back and 3 days before week 1 go, hey, Tommy boy, what do you say? One more, huh? The rest of the league better look out because Gronk's that good. But
So-
like I said,
What do you do with Tom Brady or Gronk or a player like this when they retire and then they come right back? Do you play those packages again, or do you have to put new ones together? I mean, what do you do? Or you just don't do any of that when they actually retire for good?
no, I think with Gronk, I don't know how I handle it with every other player, but for Gronk, I treat him like he's a conquering, returning hero, right? I just treat him like he's the greatest TE of all time. Because funny. That's all. Tom's going to be on the phone with Gronk like August 15th. Like, all right, buddy. Camp is just about over. Preseason's starting up here in about 2 weeks. What do you say you come back week 2 of preseason? I'll vouch for you with new coach. Bruce ain't here anymore. I'm in control of the offense. What do you say you come make another Pro Bowl run? All the avocado tequila you can drink, my guy. Are you in?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's what Brady was drunk on that day.
Was it?
Avocado tequila.
Okay. I mean, I don't drink.
Damn millennials.
I don't drink, but that's just kind of a weird combination.
Oh, you
isn't it?
can make tequila out of almost anything now. Yeah.
It's like guacamole tequila, right?
Yes. Yes. Gronk is back. He's retired yesterday. He's back August 20th. Watch. That being said, Gronk's that good. Listen, I don't even fault Gronk, right? Gronk lived his life so much that his life away from football became what he's known for more than his life in football. What other players can you say that about? Let me phrase that. Let me rephrase that.
In a positive light, I guess, kind of.
What
there are other ones in a
players-
negative light. That,
Right.
Yeah.
What other players can you say that about that were also good and viewed positively?
I was going to say, because O.J. Simpson
Right.
immediately comes to
Right.
mind. Yeah.
What other football player, right? Like Brian Bosworth as an NFL player became known as the Holly Boz, right? The Hollywood version. He was in the acting, he was in the movies, whatever. And then he got run the hell over. And everybody was like, oh, maybe he's not that good.
But you get to see him every college football season.
Yeah. Ray Lewis.
He is the
won a
Dr.
Super
Pepper
Bowl.
sheriff. You know
He
that,
is
right?
the Dr.
He is
Pepper
the Dr.
sheriff.
Pepper
Good
sheriff.
good for the Boz.
And
Lewis
a
allegedly-
highlight of those commercials, by the way.
Yeah,
He
he's
does
the
a great
best
job.
part. Ray Lewis allegedly killed a dude, came back and won a Super Bowl. Every time Ray's brought up, everybody's like, oh, you mean that dude that killed a dude? Allegedly, right? Rob Gronkowski's life away from the field became a caricature, and it became what Gronk was known for, to the point that it overshadowed Gronk being a really, really good tight end, a really good football player. And you know what? I don't think Gronkowski cares. I don't. Gronk lives his life, and if you don't like it, he's not worried about it. All right, let me take a break. Got a few more things I want to get into. NHL Stanley Cup Game 4 goes tonight. We're going to break that game down coming up next. I got some thoughts, projections, and prognostications for you. Forgot how words work there for a second. I'll get through it. Braves took an L last night to a good Giants team. They are now 16-3 in their last 19. What changed? What happened? Interesting write-up out of the AJC about what Snicker did to rejuvenate this team. I kind of like that. I'll tell you what it is. Speaking of baseball, Manny Ramirez is out of bleeps to give and told the damn truth about Major League Baseball. I'm going to talk about that. PGA Tour hates the Live Tour, so they're going to copy the Live Tour? Makes sense, right? All that and more coming up next. My name is Rob Brown. He is Alonzo. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Prisma. I'm guessing that copy was written.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I hope not. It's terrible if so. Terrible, terrible. A couple of texts that have come in the last segment. Texter says, is this the season Brady takes a big step back? Might be. No Gronk. Leonard Fournette's back. Fournette's a big piece. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. But keep in mind, he's still got a really, really good wide receiver core built around him unless they make some moves, which I can't say that they will. But he's got a really good wide receiver core built in there to Tampa. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage. Cyril Grayson is an absolute monster as the fourth. Loses a bit at the tight end, obviously, with Cameron Brate stepping into that role. But that as wide receiver cores go, you are not going to find too many that are going to be better than the one Brady's throwing to this year. But at the same time, we are talking about a Tom Brady that is 44 years of age, and when the season starts, will be 45 years old.
Let me just start this by saying Brady didn't win the Super Bowl every year. So what if he has a really bad year this year? Coming out of retirement, coming back, how does that look on him?
I mean, I got news.
Will the Brady worshipers out there in the media still praise him for having the guts, the fortitude to come back one more year?
He's 45. Last year, the only team that got him in the playoffs was the team that eventually won the Super Bowl, and it came down to a last-second field goal.
He obviously needs the money, so I get why he's coming back. But, you know.
Desperation. Why won't Zoe come to his senses? Dude, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one.
It was not bad.
That's a pretty good one. Look, Brady's going to have a year. Is he a Super Bowl caliber quarterback still? Yes, he is. He was, again, a field goal away from being in the Super Bowl in back-to-back seasons. Yes, he's still that good. Will the numbers come down? Maybe a little. But I got to tell you, there's not much of a better setup that you could ask for than the one Tom Brady is in. He's got a good wide receiver core. He's got a pass-catching running back who's really good yak as an RB. And I'm, as Zoe pointed out, still not entirely convinced Rob Gronkowski doesn't play this year. Sure, he announced his retirement, and he's literally already done that. And then Brady talked him back. Rob's going to get on the horn with Tommy B one time, try to get him back. Tom Brady is still really good at quarterbacking. There are probably four, maybe four quarterbacks in the league that you would take over Brady right now for 1 year. For 1 year. You probably take Mahomes over him. You probably take Aaron Rodgers over him. Who else? I'm looking down the list. From 2021 backwards. Looking at the annual WAR stat, that is wins above replacement. That is to say, wins in the NFL that are attributed directly to you. It's a convoluted stat, but it's a stat that I like.
You take Brady over Joe Burrow?
For a single year? Yes. Yes, for a year. Not for my franchise, but for a single year? Yup. Over Joey B? Sure. Over Russ Wilson? In terms of wins above replacement, that is to say, wins that the stats directly correlate to you. The top 10 wars, wins above replacement, since 2015, all belong to either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. The overall end-of-year grade given to quarterbacks by Pro Football Focus all belong to Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. That's it. That's the whole list. Matt Stafford's not on that list. Matt Ryan's not on that list. Patrick Mahomes not on that list. Josh Allen's not on that list. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, none of them are on that list. None of them are on that list. Tom Brady is still elite. And that's numbers, my guy. That's numbers. That's stats. That's provable. Tom Brady is still elite. Brady is still very much going to be in the conversation at the end of this year. You don't have to like it. You do have to accept it. Now, maybe Gronk don't come back. I am telling you straight up that Tom Brady is still in one of the best positions a quarterback can be in the National Football League. He's got a great wide receiver core. He's got a very good running back who can catch and yak out of the backfield. The only thing he's going to need is to beef up the left side of that offensive line. If they do that, he is a dangerous, dangerous man. Is this the year Brady takes a step back? Nope. No, it's not. He's still that good. Texas says Brady still has a damn strong arm. Last three old quarterbacks to play, Breeze, Big Ben, and Peyton, were throwing wonders duck passes. That's from Roger and Taylor's. Roger, I will admit that as a Braves fan. Or Braves fan, Saints fan, Breeze fan. It's exactly correct. Towards the end of his tenure, Breeze was not a threat down the field. Now, keep in mind, Breeze, the year that Brady won the Super Bowl, Breeze was a Jared Cook fumbled football in the second half away from beating Tom Brady. Remember, Breeze went 4-0 against Brady down the stretch. The only one that he lost was that playoff game, the NFC divisional round game that Tampa had to win to go to the Super Bowl. And if Jared Cook doesn't fumble that football, the Saints win that game and they go to the Super Bowl. Right? I will, even with that being said, admit that towards the end, Breeze was not a deep threat. Big Ben, not a deep threat. Even Peyton. I defended Peyton against Lonzo earlier. But even I will say, late in his career, Peyton Manning was not a deep threat. You didn't have to worry about him going deep on you. Tom Brady can still chunk the rock. Can still put it 45, 50 in the air on target. And he's doing it.
Is it the diet? Is it deflation?
Avocado
What is
tequila.
it? Is that what it is?
Avocado
That's the
tequila,
secret?
superpower. It's like Jordan's secret stuff from Space Jam. It's avocado tequila for Tommy B. Texas said, Aaron Rodgers, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in NFL history. Yes, he's good, but he isn't clutch. Joey B's postseason record in his 2 seasons is better than Aaron Rodgers. He said Aaron Rodgers is like a worn-out old nice Honda Civic. He's got no clutch left. Oh, listen. Aaron Rodgers, statistically one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but postseason Aaron Rodgers doesn't show out. You're right. You're right. I'm not arguing with you.
He hasn't had the best team around him either, but still.
Also correct. Also correct. The reason Aaron Rodgers has poo-pooed the Green Bay Packers in recent years before they gave him a fat stack to stick around and then let Devontae Adams walk L-O-freaking-L is because they have not built good teams around him. And he's looking around going, what the hell, man? I'm out here giving you NFL MVP caliber seasons in the regular season, and you are giving me what to work with? Quick. Name me anybody. Name me the next number one wide receiver in Green Bay after Devontae Adams. Who's next up on the depth chart? Anybody? Play the Jeopardy theme song.
Jordy Nelson.
What a reference. Your 3-star. By the way, this is why I'm going to have some fun with this. Alan Lazard, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb, and Sammy Watkins. Slanting Sammy Watkins on that list. Point is, look down that list. Look down that list. Look down Green Bay's depth chart and tell me that Green Bay has done anything to build Aaron Rodgers a team to succeed with. Tampa said, TB, come on down, join the club, and we will let you be GM. You can play NFL Madden 2023 Build a Team with our franchise. Brady did it. What'd he do? Earn another ring. And by the way, don't sleep on that team trying to get another one this year, because Brady is still good. He's still elite. He is still easy a top 5 quarterback in the league, maybe a top 3 quarterback in the league. You could argue top 2 quarterback in the league if you wanted to. If we're power ranking as a 1-season QB, top 2. Him and Rodgers. Let's take a break. Come back. Want your thoughts? Want your reaction to that? Got to get to these Manny Ramirez comments because thanks, ManRam, for finally saying the thing. Hey, remember last week when cryptocurrency took its dive? Remember last week everybody was freaking out about it? Trevor Lawrence apparently lost about $24 million of his rookie contract money in crypto. Took a huge swath of his rookie contract in crypto. About 24 mil of it just disappeared. I'm no mathematician. That seems bad.
Sue Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Damn you, Matt Damon. Damn you to hell.
If he wasn't such a good actor, I'd still have 24 million.
That sucks.
And
I think Trevor called his accountant like, dude, what the hell, man?
Well, there for a while, there were, I mean, even I think UFC fighters and other people getting paid in crypto.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of NFL players that were taking contracts almost exclusively in crypto. Pew pew.
May your score be low today, Joseph.
Man of War Golf Course in Dirty Myrtle. Joey B playing the dirty. I still have not been to Myrtle Beach. Should I go this summer, Lonzo? Is it worth the trip just to go experience the dirty Myrtle?
You are from Florida, so you will be hypercritical, of course.
I grew up on Panama City Beach.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, Rob forgets, I am no judge of the ocean. I'm from Ohio. No ocean there. You have lakes.
I know Joey B's on vacation because Joe introduced me to a golf social media app, right? Where you like friend all your golfing buddies and you share your scores and whatnot. But it actually updates you when people are playing around and it like tells you how they're doing. So like I'll be sitting here doing the show and then I get Joe B has just started his 8th round of golf this week. Joe B is -2 at the turn. And I'm like, that's cool, man. I'm just working. Don't worry about me, Joey B. I'm just out here working while you're getting golf round number 7 into the mix this week.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're working.
We are working. I didn't say it was hard. I just said we're doing it.
You're right, Joe. Myrtle Beach is the beach in Ohio and Michigan. Every time we went to Garden City a couple weeks ago. That's where we usually go. And we count the Ohio and Michigan license plates. Quite a few of them.
So it is Panama City Beach.
Why, do they go there too?
Oh, yeah. PCB is just, it's all tourist. Tourist.
It's surprising, you don't see a lot of Kentucky license plates. Or I wonder if Kentucky has a different beach that they go to.
No, everybody from Kentucky rides horses. That's why they got that damn derby. Everybody in Kentucky just drive horses everywhere.
Yeah, but they can't ride their horse to the ocean. That'd take too long. Every time we're at the beach, if someone asks where we're from, if we say the Greenville area, they look at us like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
We know where you're from. We can tell. Although Lisa's developed a little bit of a southern accent, so
Has she?
depends on who she's hanging around. If you talk to her right after work, there's some serious drawl in there. I just hang around radio people all day. Who knows if anyone uses their real voice? I mean,
I do.
Yeah, I know. But was that your original voice? I don't know. Is this your made up voice? This is a voice that you leaned into eventually.
What if my real voice was like this?
Did Rob in high school sound like Rob now?
Yeah. I really did.
Lonzo didn't because you'd never heard Lonzo talk. Carter says, best day of my life was when my Pennsylvania wife started using y'all.
I honestly, I don't think I could get through a day without saying y'all if you paid me to.
I don't say y'all unless I'm making fun. I can't do it without twang, although I just did, but still.
My man Carter just said the best day of my life was when my Pennsylvania wife started saying y'all. I don't think I can get through a day without saying y'all.
I have to say it. Y'all? I can't.
Y'all.
If I say y'all, it just sounds like, man, that's stupid.
My favorite high school stories. I was on the, because of course I was on the high school newspaper staff.
Oh, I thought we were going debate team, but this is better.
No, I was on the high school newspaper staff. I was the sports editor, of the Choctawhatchee Smoke Signals newspaper.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a hand. Did that all fit on the?
Choctawhatchee High School Smoke Signals newspaper. I was the sports editor.
Did each person who joined the paper have to learn how to spell Choctawhatchee?
No, yeah, it's I mean, it's been the name of the school for years. There's a lot of stuff around that area, like Choctawhatchee Bay, Choctawhatchee River. It's by the way, a made-up word. By the way, there was a Choctaw tribe.
Yeah.
Choctawhatchee was actually made up. That once, I don't know how to say this without getting people upset, but once the white people showed up, they're like, Choctawhatchee sounds more Native American. We're going to use that. And then everything became Choctawhatchee. I actually don't believe there were any Choctaw people around Fort Walton Beach, or at least the area.
Well, we weren't there, so we don't know for sure.
We did have, well, we do. We did the Fort Walton Beach mound building culture, which stretched from Jacksonville all the way across the Gulf Coast. And there's actually dead center of Fort Walton Beach, an old Indian temple mound you can go to. It's very,
I've
very
been
cool.
I've been to some Indian mounds in Ohio. So yeah.
Yeah, one dead center of our little bitty downtown. It was rad. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So,
Did you ever go to them at night?
yeah, 100%. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool. You know, hang out with the ghost. Ghosts aren't real. All right, so
Poltergeist.
ghosts aren't real. So, anyway,
Neither are birds.
we went to after September 11th. I was the sports editor, and I wrote a. I'll tell the story real quick because I think I've told it on here before. But I wrote a column basically telling the superintendent of schools, because the next Saturday's games were canceled. The Saturday after, they were talking about canceling football season, and so I wrote a column in the Choctawhatchee Smoke Signals newspaper, saying, "Hey, you got to let the games go on, right? Like, the whole point of this was to disrupt our way of life, to make us afraid to gather, etc. We got to play the games. I won a couple of awards, and I got to go to an awards banquet for that piece that I wrote. And at this awards banquet was a group of people from Chicago, right? Group of kids from Chicago. We got to talking, and once I started talking to them, I said to this group of kids from Chicago, I was like, "Where y'all from?" And one of the girls went, "You guys say y'all?" I was like, "Y'all say yous guys?" People from Chicago really do say yous guys, and they were genuinely concerned that I said y'all. Like, that was a shock. It was like a culture shock. I understand it. I understand it to be like, it's obviously a culture thing, the word y'all, but it's so utilitarian, man. Like, it's so utilitarian. There are so many places that y'all works better than anything else.
But here's what you don't expect. If you're dealing with a one percenter, a haughty intellectual, you don't expect said person to use the word y'all, which is it's a contraction, right? It's shortening, what your generation and the generation that comes after don't believe in using the proper word. You just shorten everything. Give everybody a nickname, make all the words smaller, makes them easier to spell, easier to say. What's wrong with being complicated, haughty?
Y'all. Yous guys. Right? Like, y'all, I think you can say y'all without it being like, y'all, where y'all going? Where y'all going?
See, but that's what I hear. Anyone who says y'all, I hear y'all. I hear
y'all.
it. I hear it.
Where y'all going? I don't think you can say "yous guys" without it coming across as like Chicago mobster.
No, that's the point.
Hey, yous guys.
No, that's the point. If you say "yous guys," you think of a certain area. When you say "y'all," you think Southern.
Right, but like, when I say "yous guys," you think like Chicago. If I say "y'all," it's like, okay, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, a little
I
bits of North
think
Carolina.
the PC police should come after you for cultural appropriation.
Because I said y'all.
For using that word, yes, because you're not from here, so you can't.
I'm from Florida.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. We all know.
born in New
We all
Orleans.
know that doesn't count. That Florida is not considered the South. I don't know why. I didn't make the rule.
The Florida Panhandle is Lower Alabama. It is L.A., baby. All right. A couple of things I wanted to get into. Since I didn't, Carter said my Pennsylvania wife started saying y'all, and I'm very proud. You should be. You should be. Y'all is the superior word to everything else. Use guys, 2 words. Why say many words when few words do trick? Y'all. And it's encompassing. Is there one person? Yeah. Is there 2 to 20,000? Y'all. It's all inclusive.
I'm trying to think of
Gender non-descriptive, by the way. Y'all can be women. Y'all can be men. Y'all can be non-binary. Y'all.
at present you can use that, but eventually there might be rules against that.
No, I don't think y'all is ever going to be under attack. Y'all is the most all-inclusive word.
People thought that about he and she, but anyways, I don't believe I've ever heard our boss say y'all.
I don't think I have either. Oh, no. We got to work on that. It's such a good word.
like you're going to change him into saying y'all.
I am. I'm just going to drop y'all into every conversation over
I
and
bet
over.
I bet if our boss says y'all, he has to do it with a southern drawl.
Y'all. He's absolutely going to do it. All right. When we come back in the next hour of the show, because I wasted this segment. My bad. When we come back in the next segment of the show, y'all going to hear me talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about y'all's. By the way, y'all's perfectly acceptable plural. Y'all's works just fine. It belongs to y'all. Y'all's favorite Atlanta Braves baseball team.
Y'all come back now. We're going to spin them country hits right here on your favorite country station, WFAN. All country all the time, y'all.
You actually sound like a guy who's called Pappy. Like, I know Pappy's got his thing, but you actually sound like a guy who in real life goes by the name Pappy.
Actually, I was impersonating my Uncle Calvin, who's no longer with us. But his voice is like an octave higher.
When I drive back from Florida, if there's a Braves game on that day, I always try to time it up so that I'm around Atlanta when the Braves are playing, right? Because I know, like, when I get through Opelika and then Montgomery and then Atlanta, I know the Braves stations to flip by. But the Braves games are always on some, like, little yokel country station that have a guy who talks just like that. Just like that.
You know what's even better? A guy like that calling a football game. That is so much fun.
I'm from the South, man. I'm from the South. Fan, the Yankees, y'all, is yins? 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 All yins?
All yins come back now. I don't use yins. I thought that was like a currency and,
Zoe, you know better. You're from Ohio. We say y'all in Ohio, and it's not just a Southern redneck phrase that you say hear it. You say you hear it.
You must be from you must be from Southern Ohio. I'm from the city.
Y'all don't say y'all. What y'all say? What do y'all say in the city? You all? What do you all say in the city?
I don't use contractions. I speak properly.
I don't use contractions.
I do know that I used a contraction when I said that. That's what made it funny, especially if you didn't catch it.
All right, when we come back, it's 45 minutes of sports and then Twitter trending topics. Stick around. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo.
Sounds like you said you're Rod.
Yin's listening to the fan upstate. I'm just texting. Remember to drink a lot of water and stay inside between 11 a.m. and November 2nd. Ain't a word, so I ain't gonna say it. You know what I hated about that phrase? Ain't a word, so I ain't gonna say it. Gonna ain't a word. So you're having me say a word that ain't a word.
Well,
what I'm saying ain't.
Gonna is a word now, I believe. That's the real reason the Urban Dictionary came out, so they could make all these words actual words. So people don't go to Webster, they go to Urban Dictionary. That looks cut off, but oh well.
Looks what? Dumb?
Poorly edited. I know the part that I accidentally cut off. I cut off the CBS Sports Radio part at the end. But once you, hit save, you can't go back.
Yep.
So, there's that. Take the pressure, man. It's too hard.
I really want to start doing parody songs now.
Dude. Well, if you really wanted to do it, you should have agreed to, all the questions that I asked you while I was on vacation about parody songs. Plus, we can do a parody song today if you wanted to do one, but you're busy.
The other problem with it is to do parody songs, we have to play the music of a song, which can't go on the stream. We'd have to mute the stream for it. Unless we just release it
maybe.
only.
I will tell you that none of my parodies, which are not, I mean, they haven't been straight up parodies. They've been characters singing songs, have been flagged yet. And maybe because the show's so insignificant, they don't care. Or it may be that parody is allowed. I don't know.
I mean, I believe that fair use covers the use for parody. I believe free use allows you to use,
because you're not recording it. And the other thing is doing it live is one thing.
Right.
I think that may be one of the reasons why we've been able to do that, is because we're doing it live. And it's obvious. It's like, I don't know, Saturday Night Live doing something or something like that, I guess. If we were recording it, that would be something different.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, as far as looking it up, how do you look that up? I don't know. I think the only way you find out is by doing it and see what happens, which is always the best way anyway. Because I am going to do He Ain't Heavy, He's My Half Work. I've been working on that. I just want you to know that. But one of the cool parts about this job is we could actually do that if we wanted to.
What's that, parody?
Parody, yeah. I mean, to a certain degree. Until the boss says, don't ever do that again, which, Until he does, it's fair game.
The Chattahoochee claim that you had a minute ago, Carter, I have not heard that before. And I read a bunch about that stuff.
It's a great point.
Travels.
This is a very good point.
I don't think I've ever read that before.
I can't often say that, but I can say that was a very good point.
What's that?
Their promo. That cockroaches don't break down either. Mark said if you see one, it doesn't break down. It could have been there for 30 years and it still will look the same. And he's kind of right.
The third, the best, the final, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the fan upstate. Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the show. I am Rob Brown, the great with Lonzo at the helm.
Hey, man, you need to warn someone before you start flashing those weapons, throwing up the gun show on the stream. Look at that.
You know what it is?
Wearing
It's
the
just
Macho
that-
Man t-shirt. You
It's
can't
just
help
that
it.
everything hurts, and you just got to stretch. It's just-
So that's a way to it's an old man way of saying, of stretching without looking like you're stretching.
yeah, no, it's a stretch. I'll acknowledge it.
Okay.
I got resistance bands that I used to actually do curls and tries with. Now I just use them to stretch myself out. Because I'm old and I'm falling apart. It is what it is. Third hour of the show. A lot of stuff I want to get into here. I will start with this. The Live Tour. Lots of news the last couple of days. I know that you guys are really tired of the Live Tour talk. I need you to know I'm really tired of talking about it. But it is the biggest story that's happened in golf since Tiger Woods blew up. So it's going to get some time. It's just how it goes. First off, Live Tour golfers will be allowed to play in the Open Championship. The Royal and Ancient Golf Club has decided that the golfers on the Live Tour will be given a pass to play at St. Andrews. Players involved within the Live Golf Invitational Series will be announced will be allowed according to the RNA, which announced it yesterday. The decision, of course, follows the USGA allowing players who have joined the Live Golf Series to have played last weekend in the U.S. Open, which Matt Fitzpatrick won. This week, four-time major champion Brooks Koepka became the latest and maybe biggest player since Bryson DeChambeau to make the switch. He was followed by Abraham Answer and others. RNA CEO Martin Slumbers said in a statement, quote, I'm not going to do that the whole time. The Open is golf's original championship, and since it was first played in 1860, openness has been fundamental to its ethos and unique appeal. Players who are exempt or have earned a place through qualifying for the 150th Open in accordance with the entry terms and conditions will be able to compete in the championship at St. Andrews. We are focused on staging a world-class championship in July and celebrating this truly historic occasion for golf. We will invest the proceeds of the Open, as we always do, for the benefit of golf, which reflects our purpose to ensure that the sport is thriving 50 years from now. So, that is what it is. Live Tour golfers playing the Open Championship. That ain't the news from yesterday. That intrigued me. That piqued my interest. What did pique my interest, what did get my attention was this. In response to the ever-growing threat presented to the PGA by the Live Tour, the PGA Tour started to throw out some ideas surrounding what the schedule next year might look like as they compete with the Live Tour. In response to the Live Golf threat, as it is written up by Mark Schleba, who's, by the way, has been killing it with all of this. Schleba said the details are still being finalized and subject to change, but the PGA Tour schedule expected to be approved for 2023, as Live Golf continues to pluck former major champions from the tour's roster of members, may now very well include 3 or more new events in a global golf series that will include no cuts, limited fields, and purses of at least $25 million. Now, where have I heard of a golf tour in the style of a global series with no cuts, limited fields, and purses of upwards of $20 million? That, y'all, is literally the Live Tour. PGA Tour is like, all right. And by the way, this is a good move from the PGA Tour, in my opinion, right? They are watching the Brysons and the Brookses and the Patricks. They are watching the DJs and the hefty lefties of the world jump over to this tour. Something is drawing them there. I have told you what it is. Cha-ching. Dollar bills, y'all. That's what they're chasing, right? They're chasing paper. They're chasing cheddar. They're chasing the bag. And they're getting it. If it's got that much appeal over what the PGA has put on the tour, and you want guys to stay, just steal their idea, right? Just steal the idea. Nobody that has followed these guys over to the Live Tour as fans, nobody is going to say, oh, the PGA stole the Live Tour's idea for a formula, so bleep that, I'm not going to the PGA Tour. I'm out, right? Nobody that's a golf fan that has followed guys over and has incorporated the Live Tour into their golf entertainment is looking at the PGA and going, yeah, I'm not going back. I have no interest in going back. They had their chance and they didn't. No, nobody's doing that. All of the social media stuff, that I have followed when I have watched golf fans talk about the Live Tour versus the PGA Tour are saying, dude, yes, nobody likes Saudi Arabia, but I'm a golf fan. I'm a golf fan, and at the end of the day, I like golf. And at the end of the day, I want to watch golf, and I want to listen to golf, and I want to enjoy golf. So that's why I'm watching the Live Tour. I'm a golf guy, first and foremost. If the PGA Tour sets up a global golf series with limited fields, right? Invitational. You say top 30 guys on tour. Top 20 guys on tour, right? Make it a 4-round event with a fat purse. And you tell the rest of the guys on tour, it's no cut, meaning you're taking home money. Regardless, first or last, you're taking home money. But the only way to get the invite to this event is to be one of the top FedEx Cup point golfers in the world. Not world golfers in the world, right? Greg Norman's lobbying to the World Golf, whatever they are, Council. I don't know. I like the idea of a bunch of golf dorks sitting in like a Star Wars style Senate listening to Greg Norman argue about why the Live Tour should be included. PGA has FedEx Cups. You make the argument. You say, look, here's the deal. We're going to have 3, 4 of these events. We're going to have one that opens the year. The top 30 FedEx Cup point players from last year get to play in that one. We're going to have another one that's going to be 2 weeks before the Masters, right? In mid-April, we have a second one. That's going to be the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup. Then we're going to have a second one that's going to happen in July after the Travelers. That's going to be the top 30 players to date in the FedEx. And then after the last event of the year, this is the new last event of the year. We're going to have one last limited field no-cut tournament, and only the top 20 golfers in the FedEx Cup points are going to get into that one. Price purse of like 50 mil. Go bananas with it. Get you one big old fat sponsor to throw all the dollars at it. But make it to where it's not just that the events are appealing to the fans, but make it to where guys bust their rears in every other tournament to try to qualify for them, right? Make them crown jewels. Put them at courses, whatever. Joe checks in. He said, this goes back to my idea of the people's majors, 4 tournaments with rowdy crowds like the Waste Management, big atmosphere, mic'd up golfers, and huge purses. Exactly. Hell, make one of these the Waste Management. Could you imagine? Only the top 30 golfers in the world show up at Phoenix. Right? Show up at Phoenix. And there is a $30 million purse on the line. No cuts. But you got to fight your way in. You got to play through the most rowdy and raucous golf course in America, and the winner's taking home $8 million. Second place, $5 million. Third place, $2 million. Fourth place, $1 million. Fifth place, $900K. Right? I mean, you're talking fat stacks. Now, not only does that become arguably the most watched golf tournament outside of the Masters, right? Lonzo, remember a couple of months ago when I brought in all those clips of that dude hitting the hole-in-one and people like showering beer everywhere and going bananas? Remember that? That was the Phoenix Open. That was the golf course we're talking about, right? I would bet you that regular people out there who aren't golf fans, the only golf course that they see show up as much as Augusta National is Phoenix. Because for about a week after that tournament plays out, the Waste Management Open, people are going, what the hell was going on in Phoenix? Because it's so outlandish, right? So take that, make it an event that has even more pressure on it.
So you want to turn this into the Happy Gilmore Invitational.
One event, just one. One of the 4. There's 3 other
The
ones
blue
I've
bloods of golf are rolling in their grave that you would
I don't
consider such a thing.
PGA Tour, do you want to get owned by the Live Tour or not? Do you want to have this tour continue to poach your names until Saudi Arabia is bankrolling the best golf roster in the world and you are sitting idling by praying that a Q School guy comes out and does a Tiger Volume 2.0 for you? Or do you want to have the PGA Tour be the destination still? Get over your starched collar, stiff nose, up in the air garbage and have some fun with it. I'm not asking for all 4 to be sheer chaos. I'm saying make them all 4 different, right? 4 very different golf courses. 4 very different styles of golf, 4 very different environments, right? Play one of them. I used to play golf when we used to go vacation in Colorado. 1%er. When we used to go vacation in Colorado, I used to play golf with the old man in Copper Mountain, Colorado, on a golf course, Lonzo, that was set into the side of the Colorado Rocky Mountains. You would stand on a par 3 that was 192 yards to the hole, except for it was down about 45 yards. Right? You'd be standing looking out off the tee box down a freaking cliff. Play one there. Challenge these guys. Make them play and do stuff they've never done before, but put a first place $9 million paycheck on the line. You think all of a sudden Brooks Koepka's going, That, or the Live Tour now, instead of offering $200 million to just Phil, has got to offer $200 million to Brooks and DJ too. Because if they're only getting $50 million, they can make more, remember, from the sponsors who are going to go bananas when this new series of events run by the PGA Tour takes off. U.S. Open happened last week. How many of you guys knew about it? Handful of you? Big event.
Well, because of the Live thing, yeah. If that hadn't been going on, then probably no one, except for the hardest golf fans.
That's the U.S. freaking Open, dude. That's like one of your big 4. Why would you not create something to compete? Make the set. If you are saying, the Saudis have unlimited money, that's fine. Make them use it. Make them use it. Right? Make them use it. Get you some new sponsors, create some new events, steal their idea, steal their formula. And as Joey B said, have the people's majors, right? You can still play at the Royal and Ancient Golf Club. You can still play at Augusta National. You can still play the TPC. You can still play the Open. You can still play your majors and have them be snooty 1%er golf events. I'm good with all that. But these guys love playing the Waste Management in Phoenix. Give them a couple more like that. Give them a couple more like that. That also racks up tens of millions of dollars of prize money, and watch them go bananas. Bananas. Watch it. All right. When we come back, got a few more stories I want to get into. Matt Rule said something about Sam Darnold that sent my confidence in the Panthers crashing back down to earth. I'll tell you what that is when we come back. Didn't sound great. And we'll ask Lonzo one more time to give his ode to Rob Gronkowski. Now you're just somebody who I used to throw to. That's another good one. I'm on it today, Zoe. I'm on it today.
It's like one every 10 to 15 minutes. Not bad.
Hit the road, Gronk. Don't you come back. All right, back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Man, I hope they park that way.
I will fist fight you. I will fist fight you. You animal. Listen, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I'm going to try. I don't know how long this cord is, but I need you all to witness this. Can I get it? No, I'm not going to be able to get you there. Oh, stop it. I can't show you. There's a car parked outside, y'all. I cannot even kid you. That is parked sideways and across 4 different parking spots. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable.
They're in the car, by the way.
Are you 100% sure?
Yeah, I just seen a hand move. Yeah, they're in the car, but still, that's just not. Pretty funny. As long as they're not waiting for someone to come out so they can jump them or something. Wow, you're dead to me. Dude! Ooh. People are struggling in the parking lot today. That truck, dude, you're not in the lines. Or, lady, you're not in the lines.
Joe said plot twist. It's Mark Hendricks.
Look where this lady just parked. In the truck.
What is happening in the parking lot?
Don't do that.
Unbelievable. Like you have to see that you're over the line by like a lot.
The funny part is you actually thought they could hear you if you did that.
If they did, I was gonna be like, move.
You know, unless it's at night. You can't
Okay,
really
let's look
see.
at this. If you're in the car, you are still, the rest of your car is just hanging out in the road. What are you,
This is ugly. By the way, the lady in the truck, she backed up and then
and reset that way.
and reset. She did. Yes, she thought she was in there.
Guy over there in the red truck in the corner, backed in, was over the line, got out, looked over, realized he was over the line, got back into his truck, pulled forward and reset. Respect to that. Well, I was about to say.
Oh, that's nearly perfect.
That's fine. I accept that.
Nice.
This. What was that movie where the dude Roadhouse? I want that dude in his shoes where he goes like this and a knife comes out of the front of him. Because I just walk over there and be like, now you're stuck. Oh my god, that's infuriating.
See, now I want to watch
That
everyone.
car I just
pull
showed you
in.
guys, it's still there. It's still there. Absolute a-hole. Absolute a-hole.
This Saturday, I'm gonna take up like 5 spots if I can. I know I can do 4, but I'm not sure I can get 5. They're still sitting there. But Tim's nervous because that's his car right by it.
Unbelievable.
I should text Tim and ask him if he's about to get jumped.
That is beyond infuriating.
I was texting him and asking him who he offended. I get ready to jump him when he comes out the door. You really need to calm down. You do. You get
I'm
really,
about to fist fight.
you get really angry
I'm
about
gonna
this.
Fight the hell out of whoever that is. There's a person outside in a minivan, parked in, not just somehow managing to park sideways across 3 spots, but park sideways across 3 spots with the rear end of their car sticking out into the driving part of the driveway, of the parking lot. And they're just hanging out. They're just there. They're just, are they still there? They are. Unbelievable. She has 9 feet to pull ahead into any one of the 3 spots that she's blocking in a relatively full parking lot. 3 spots she's blocking, and could pull up 9 feet to get the ass end of her car out of the part of the driveway where people are trying to, drive. And nope, I'm just going to sit right here and block 3 spots and stick the rear end of my stupid minivan out where people are trying to drive by.
What if it was Tim's mom going to
Don't care.
surprise him for his birthday?
Tim, tell your mom to do better. Tell Mrs. T2 to do better.
Different Tim, but we've got a lot of them.
DJ Tim, tell him too. Tell them all. If your mom drives like that, your mom's a bad person. Capiche?
At least the lady in the truck is coming back out, the one who parked bad.
All right. So I've been obviously following what's been going on at minicamp for the Panthers as they get set. Sam Darnold's still the quarterback. Matt Rule said at a press conference that Sam Darnold would, quote, be our quarterback, end quote, if the season started today. Of course, the season does not start today. So that's not a...
It's an easy thing to say,
Yeah.
Because obviously if the season started today, he would be the quarterback.
Correct. That's not what got me, though. Although it did leave the door open for Bake, for Jimmy G, or whoever else might come in and supplant him as the number one. What got me is the conversations about Sam Darnold that Matt Rule had after that, right? He said that there is a, quote, night and day, end quote, difference in how far Darnold has come since he arrived to Charlotte in that trade with the Jets. Rule said that when it comes to looking at making a move that results in a, quote, significant improvement, that, quote, we absolutely should, end quote. But here's the part that got me. Stafford, you wish. Matt Rule was asked, how do you get prepped with Sam Darnold? How to get prepped? And here's what he said, quote, Sam's job is to take the next 5 weeks, make sure he shows up to Wofford better than what he is right now. He said to me yesterday how good he feels footwork-wise in the offense. He's got to get to training camp and improve, and he's got to do it with the pads on and with people trying to knock you down. You look at the quarterback world from high school through college now, it's so much 7-on-7. A lot of guys can throw it. It's what you do when guys are trying to chase you down. So those are his steps. He knows that. I know that. Ben knows that. That's our job as coaches. It is our job not to think, hey, we need to go get this, go get that. That's Scott's job. My favorite line. Our job is to get Sam as ready as possible, end quote. I don't like that.
As ready as possible?
As ready as possible.
That kind of says that there are limitations and you can only do so much.
Not to get Sam ready. Not to get Sam ready, to have Sam prepped and to have Sam ready to take the next step. No. Our job is to get Sam as ready as possible. Now, I agree with Lonzo. That sounds like there's some limitations in play here. The question is, whose limitations are they, hey? Are they limitations because of Sam Darnold? Or are they limitations because of Matt Rule? Does Matt Rule believe that he can only do so much with Sam Darnold? Or does he believe that Sam Darnold can only have so much done to get him prepared?
Or is he saying that about McAdoo?
It doesn't matter. I agree with Zoe. It most certainly does sound like somebody has some limitations on what they are capable of, and it sounds like Matt Rule knows that. Our job is to get Sam Darnold as ready as possible, direct quote. And how ready is that, and how possible can that be, Matt? I don't love this. I mean, listen, I know, like he said, we are still 4.5 weeks away from the Panthers showing up at Wofford, showing up in the Berg, where Lonzo and I are going to go over there and put eyeballs on this team and be able to report back and say, here's what we saw out of Sam. But with this much time left to go, I need better than that. I need this team to have some level of chemistry, to have some level of put togetherness. You have been, Matt Rule, the head coach for a number of years now. Sam Darnold is coming in a year 2 as a starter, and you are talking about getting him as ready as possible. I don't know, Lonzo. I will acknowledge that sometimes because I love word games, I will acknowledge that sometimes I start reading into other people's words probably more than I should.
All right, last year when Cam Newton came in, he said, we're working hard to get Cam Newton as ready as possible. That applies.
Sure.
The guy just came in on a
Just
short
got there.
week. Yeah. But Darnold's been there.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't sound good.
This is not Cam getting signed on a Thursday and being asked to start on a Sunday. This is not Cam signing a contract and then being told 3 days later, hey, big boy, it's your time to shine. Get out there, take off the funny hat, put on the helmet, and let's go. This is a guy who's been there 2 seasons now. Well, coming into season number 2, but certainly a full year. Second round of minicamp, going into his second spring camp, and your coach is going as ready as possible. That just doesn't seem great, man. I'm not getting a confidence boost out of that. As ready as possible. I'd like to know what that means.
Well, who knows? Maybe in a couple months when Panthers come to town, you can ask him that. Sit across from him and go, hey, what does this mean? Of course, by then, we might be interviewing Baker Mayfield and not.
That's also true. I got to tell you, I genuinely may. Listen, when we go to an event like that, like ordinarily, because, we carry Panthers football here on the Family Networks, right? We're supposed to be all lovey-dovey, and that's fine. I'm respectful. But you better believe when we get to camp, if we get to talk to Matt Rule, one of the questions will be, Coach, a couple of weeks before you got here to training camp, you said your job was to get Sam Darnold as ready as possible. How ready is that? What does that mean? Does that mean there are limitations that you see on Sam Darnold? Or does that mean there are limitations that you see on Sam Darnold within your offense? Like, what does that mean? And I'm not trying to ask it disrespectfully, but I think it's a fair question. When you say, our job is to get our QB as ready as possible, what does that mean? And do you think that, Bruce Arians would say, I'm here to get Tom Brady as ready as possible? Do you think that they'd say, we're here to get Aaron Rodgers? You think Andy Reid would say, my job is to get Patrick Mahomes as ready as possible? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm reading too much into semantics here.
And it could be just you and I are the only ones who have a problem with it.
I agree.
Everybody else may be like, it's no big deal.
I actually completely agree with that. Zoe and I might be the only ones who saw the phrase as ready as possible and went, that doesn't seem great. That seems to me like things are very much not in control right now, Matt. That leads me to believe that you do not have this whole thing figured out, right? What does as ready as possible even mean? I acknowledge that I love word games. I love semantics. I love how language works. It's an art to me. But sometimes I read into stuff because of it. Ask literally every woman I've ever dated. They'll tell you. And yes, because of my job, I do the same with the football teams I cover. All right, 844-326-3663. 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFONE. You can also text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with ESPN, with FAN. How to do that after that much time? FAN, FAN, we'll read them on the air. Give me your thoughts, Panthers fans. Is this a moment of panic, or am I just reading too much into something? Back after this, I'm Rob. He's Alonzo. This is the Fan Upstate. Texas says, I think Matt Rule has had more starting quarterbacks than Ron Rivera ever did. Texas said, fan, this is just another sign why Sam Darnold, was a bust and Carolina was stupid to trade for him. Look, here's the thing. Sometimes good trades go sideways. Yeah. Sometimes a good trade goes bad. That's what this was. It was a fine trade for Sam Darnold. I was all on board. I thought it was a great move. Get him out from under Adam Gase. Get him out from New York. Get him to Carolina. Put him in a system with a coach that's offensively minded and knows what he's doing. He's going to break out. Sometimes even the best laid plans go sideways. That's what this was. Question is, how do you respond, right? How do you respond? And I don't think the response is, all right, we got punched in the mouth. How do we respond? Let's get punched in the mouth again. Probably not as great of a look as you'd like. So we'll see. Texas says, sounds like emergency preparedness. Yeah, sounds like Matt Rule's like, oh, God. What are we going to do? You ever been in that spot? You ever been in a spot where you know you screwed up? You ever in a spot where you know you did something wrong? You ever in a spot where you know the boss or the wife or whoever is mad at you and you're going to get an earful? So you start practicing your I'm sorry, here's how I'm going to fix it routine before you even get there.
Yeah, but in my case, I've got like 10 different ways to explain it. It's trying to figure out which one is the best one. None of them ever work, but because I'm an overthinker, and so I'm going to come. I have come up with a bunch of stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been driving into work, and you realize that you were supposed to have that TPS report turned in by Monday. Yeah, I'm going to need that TPS report by Monday. Yeah. Damn, Lumberg. And you forgot it. So when the driving to work on Monday without the TPS report, you're putting together your list of reasons why it didn't happen and how you're going to fix it. It definitely sounds like that's what Matt Rule is doing, right? He's laying the groundwork now so that in week 5, when the Panthers are 2-4, and people are starting to call for his job again, he can go, hey, look, at the end of the day, I got Matt Rule or Sam Darnold as prepared as possible. Yeah, but dude, you're the reason. You're the reason he's
Or you
here.
go in and say, I did this with that. And you get I did this with that. I know I only won a couple games, but I did it with that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't love it. Texas said Carolina already got punched for taking Bridgewater, then went back for more. Look, I wasn't mad about the Teddy B pickup either, right? Think about it. Teddy Bridgewater, when he took over for Drew Brees his last season in New Orleans, Teddy B went 5-0 starting for Drew Brees, right? At the end of the day, we talked about
he had
this
a better team, though.
He had a much better team, but he still went 5-0, right? I think you've got to... we talked about this with the Deshaun thing earlier when somebody said, is Deshaun worth the trouble for Cleveland? And the answer was, as long as you don't mind the PR hit, yeah. Yeah. Because even if it has been a year and a half since Deshaun played football, even if Deshaun gets suspended for this year, when he goes to suit up next year for the Browns, it will have been some 930 plus days since the last time Deshaun started an NFL football game. 3 years plus. 930-ish days. And it will still be worth the risk because the NFL is a league where if you want to win, you have to have a quarterback. It's not an option, right? So if you were the Panthers that year, what do? You got Cam, who Matt Rule didn't want. You've got Sam Darnold. Or, excuse me, you got Teddy Bridgewater. Or you got what? P.J. Walker that year? Was that the year he came in? Who do you want? You kind of know where Cam's ceiling was at that point, right? You don't know what it is within Matt Rule's offense, but you kind of found Cam's ceiling. At least you thought you did. Teddy B had an injury. People thought that post-knee getting buckled, that he'd never be the same guy. But he came to New Orleans. He was a very successful backup for Drew. He won 5 out of 5 for the Saints when Breeze was down. He showed you he could still play the game. You have to have a quarterback if you want to be successful. And at that point, thought he was on the way up, yeah? Thought he was on the way up. It was a fine move. I think it was the same move that they made with Darnold. It was a fine move. Unfortunately, you just went 0 for 2, right? I know the best fishing hole in the Gulf of Mexico where the red snappers sleep. Turns out I
was waiting to see if that was a song. I was waiting to see if that was a song lyric.
Another Gronk song?
Well, it sounds like definitely a country song for sure.
Yeah. I know the best fishing holes south of Destin, Florida, in the Gulf of Mexico where the red snapper live. And I have gone there many, many times and come back with some big damn red snapper. I have also gone there, laid down a line, and come back skunked, come back empty-handed. Sometimes you make the right decision, right place, right time, and it just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. It's actually said Panthers could take Baker's dull contract, get him to restructure for 2 years, and spread that money over 2 seasons. If Baker has a successful season, let me find the rest of that. They got him for 1 more. If not, Matt Corral is ready. I don't think you're getting him for 2. I think if Baker shows up, you're getting him for a year. I've told you this. I think if Baker shows up, you're getting him for a year. You're signing him for 1 year. You're splitting the contract with Cleveland just to get him out of Seatown. You got him for 1 year. That allows Matt Corral to get ready. If Baker has a great year, another team is going to come in with a redonk amount of money you don't have to get him. If he does not have a great year, you move on to Matt Corral. If he does have a great year, somebody else signs him, and you move on to Matt Corral. You only need Baker on a 1-year rental, and that's all you're going to get him for, a 1-year rental.
All this moving on to Matt Corral is assuming that he's better than Sam Darnold.
That is also correct. That being said, with what we know about Sam Darnold versus what we don't know about Matt Corral, I'll take the risk. I kind of think you have to, right? All right. Hey, what the heck? Let's just jump into Twitter. What do you say? Let's just get after it. It's been that. I'm kind of done.
You just didn't want me
about
to.
The Panthers.
You didn't want me to catch you in the middle. That's all.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
It just takes some time.
You
girl.
You almost said something.
You're in the middle of the ride. Everything.
Wow, I got that reference too. I don't know what's going on here. All right, time for Twitter trending topics. The first thing that's trending is Obi-Wan.
That wasn't what was trending earlier.
I'm not. Yeah, it trended for a while, but it's no longer trending now. And I was thinking about using that, but you kind of ruined it. Now
I haven't ruined anything. I haven't said what it is.
Okay, well, we might get there.
We might get there.
We might.
We'll see. Newest episode of Obi-Wan dropped. I just finished last week's episode of Obi-Wan, and let me just say that the Vader scene was dope. It was cool. And not just the lightsaber battles, but the moment he had with the ship,
which was
one of the coolest looking things from this whole series.
It's straight out of a video game. And in the video game, he had to do that with a Star Destroyer, and it was very difficult. But yeah, how he's ripping apart piece by piece. This is the Vader that we always heard about and never got to see. We've seen it in video games. Now we're seeing it on screen. All right, the second thing that's trending is Elvis.
Is that movie dropping this weekend?
It is. It absolutely is.
You interested in that movie at all? You an Elvis guy?
Yeah, I kind of am. It's just this looks like a really good. I've seen a ton of Elvis movies, from Kurt Russell to a bunch of different other people playing Elvis. This looks pretty good. Tom Hanks as the villain. I kind of like it.
Uncle Tom's getting out there. He's breaking.
It's Colonel Tom.
Colonel Tom.
Uncle Tom's totally different.
Yeah,
person.
I get it now. So I'll say this. Here's the problem I have. I love Elvis. Thank you very much. Love Elvis. Love Elvis. Always have loved Elvis. Man's king. One of the best. The problem I have is that so many of the biopics that have come out over the recent years about musicians, they ain't right? Like the Queen one. Queen never broke up. Freddie did some solo stuff, but Queen never broke up. They did this whole thing about how they all fell apart because of this, that, and the other. That Queen never broke up. The songs that they released in that movie, out of order in the songs that came out. They told whole stories based on the order the songs came out, but they weren't the right order they came out, right? Like, I understand you've got to take some creative license to make the movies more interesting about the musicians, but you're just telling a different story, right? So I'm a little concerned that there are going to be parts about this Elvis biopic that are gonna get it wrong. I mean, the relationship with Tom Parker is an interesting one. There's a lot of drama behind it. But if you start making up stuff to make the movie more interesting, you take away from an otherwise fascinating real life story.
All right, the next thing that's trending is D&D 5e.
So D&D 5e, the latest edition of Dungeons and Dragons that is out. I don't know. Are they releasing another sometimes they'll abridge it.
It was hashtagging big time.
Gotcha.
So
don't know why. That being said, my group plays a session on Sunday. It's been 6 months since we got together. Very excited.
Wow. Okay,
Nerding
so
out.
we have time for one more. Mad Dog is trending. I could have went the other way, but I'd rather see you angry at the end of the show.
Either way, you were talking about him.
Yeah, that thing.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
See what I did there,
I did.
Lonzo?
Nobody else got it, but
See
I
what
did.
I did there?
Yes, I did.
That's it for us. We're going home. It's not true. We're going to go work in the Fortress of Nerditude, but y'all enjoy the day.
Y'all.
Is the guy on the other channel right now named Lou? Do you know?
What channel?
On
You mean
the-
Vince?
that shares a text
Well,
line.
someone is filling in
in?
for Vince.
All right.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
Somebody said, Lou, stick your day job. You're too angry to be a comedian. I thought they were talking about me. That's it for us. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. Jim Rome's up next. Mark Ryan and Diesel with Offsides at 3. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face back here tomorrow to do it all over again on The Rob Brown Show. And the Fan Upstate later, brother. All right, stream. Thank you guys. You guys were awesome today. Sincerely. Appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it all